We have to make a lot of decisions every day, starting with what to have for breakfast, what clothes to wear, and even what doors to take on our way to our lectures. These decisions are impacted by different factors, like availability, but also less obvious things, like social influences. Most of the time, we don't even know that we're being influenced, or don't have a good explanation for why we make the choices we do. To put these social influences to the test, we set up a little experiment at our university. We chose a hallway with 2 glass doors next to each other, so that there is no real reason to choose one door above the other. But what happens if we put some signs on the doors and make people choose? At first, people are going through the doors as usual. To start the experiment, our researchers are putting up male and female signs, one on each door. Let's see if people will follow these signs.
Okay, and why?
I don't know, actually, just because.
Yeah, and we just wanted to go home, so the tiny didn't
The effect wasn't very obvious with these signs. Some people conformed, others didn't seem to notice, and some even stopped, looked at the signs, and then deliberately rebelled against them. For the second part of the experiment, our researchers are putting up a new set of signs. These designate the doors as student entrance and staff entrance. Let's see how people respond now.
I guess the labels work. I associate labels with rules that are set there for a reason, and so I follow them.
Actually, I thought it didn't matter at all, but there was this girl who already walked through the student door. I was just following her.
So, what can we conclude from our little experiment?
People adjust their behavior to follow the group they belong to. This phenomenon is known by psychologists as conformity. People conform for a number of reasons, one of the most common being a desire of approval. Being around your peers makes you want to fit in. We do what everyone else would do. We comply because we want to be liked.
Based on this, the people who chose to conform in our experiment likely did so in order to fit in. They saw others using their assigned door, so they did too. This makes sense given that one student said that he was simply following someone else through the door.
A university is a melting pot for social conformity. Constantly being around your peers makes you more likely to conform. If you follow the rules that are set and followed by others, you gain acceptance from your peers.
Interestingly, the fact that many people chose not to conform to the male and female signs represents a shift from what was seen in previous research. This might reflect a change in how society views the concept of gender. As some of the people stopped conforming to the signs, others felt comfortable doing the same. In this respect, they were being socially influenced by their peers to rebel against the signs. But what is actually happening inside the brains of these people as they approach these signs? For this, we refer to Lotte Visser, a psychology graduate specializing in the field of brain and cognition, to provide some answers.
Our nucleus accumbens is our reward center. If something nice happens, it becomes active and gives us a feeling of reward. For example, when we eat, have sex, or get a compliment. The rostral cingulate cortex processes conflicts in general, like grammar errors and unexpected plot twists in a movie. Your brain encounters conflict when your behavior is inconsistent with your peers. When this happens, your rostral cingulate cortex becomes active and your nucleus accumbens becomes depressed.
Consider this person here. She notices the sign. She also notices that all of her peers are using the other door. It is likely that her nucleus accumbens is depressed and her rostral cingulate cortex is active. This feeling of displeasure causes her to follow her peers despite initial hesitation. It would appear that most people follow the student and staff signs far more than the male and female signs. While we can't exactly tell from the video how many people were students and how many were staff, we can assume that most of the people coming in and out of this study area were in fact students. When we did see people who looked like staff members, we asked them and excluded them from the tally.
We've been taught from a very young age to listen to authority, often because of fear of punishment, but over time, even in the absence of punishment, we still complied to authority.
Authority may account for why people followed the second set of signs more than the first. Staff seemed to be an authority figure for most students. This was emphasized by one of the students earlier, who said that he associated these labels with rules that were set for a reason. Researchers have found authority to be a powerful force for social influence, capable of making someone electrocute a stranger. The abuse of this power can be seen in multiple real-world examples, such as the incidents which sparked the Me Too movement. How do we solve this conundrum in real life? Not following signs that are in place for good reasons can be dangerous. Just think of the chaos if everyone would ignore traffic signs. On the other hand, blindly following all instructions can get us into trouble too. The best we can do is think critically. Does this sign serve a purpose? What benefit is gained from following or ignoring the sign? What harm can be caused? So use your logical brain and don't give in to conformity blindly.